Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in but just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes even I can't get a word in myself. So be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. So please tune in then, do your comment or your question. If it's not convenient for you to watch the whole show or be present for the remainder of the show, that's okay. Come back and watch the replay. But at least you can post your question or comment, and I will get to it, and my illustrious panel will help you in that way. Now, if you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos that Sparky does on his platform informative, plus not only building videos, he also is getting ready to do live stream at Brodax and at the Nationals. So this is great information. And if you like what we do, give us a thumbs up, and then a thumbs up. And consider joining our YouTube memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. Okay. And with your memberships, you'll get special, you have access to unlimited member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, the other ways you can show your support is over here below the chat box. There's this big $sign. It's the super chat. You can hit that and donate any amount you like there. That's not a subscription. The YouTube membership is a monthly subscription. As a matter of fact, I have it come out of my checking account each and every month, the $4.99 each month. Now there's 3 tiers. That's the lowest tier. And that's like going to Starbucks and getting one of their fancy lattes or something like that once a month. It's not a lot. Please support your hobby. Please support your passion. Now, if you enjoy what we do, and why not support it? I mean, I'm doing it, and I don't have to. So that's why I don't feel bad asking you to please support us. Support us. I'm doing it myself, and I'm supporting the hobby by doing the show, by streaming and setting this thing up. Now, if you want to get in touch with me, because this is Sparky's YouTube channel, and if you have any comments or questions about the show, what you should do is go to my YouTube channel, because I don't check the comments and I don't come back and do Sparky's channel until next Monday. I don't check the comments. And but if you go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt, that's Flying Control Line Stunt. Flying Control Line Stunt. If you go there and locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL. You get a chance to see me fly at the Nationals. It was my first time, my first official flight ever at the Nationals. And tell me what you think. And if you like it, subscribe, give me a like, share, all that kind of good stuff too there. Okay, now I'm going to get ready to launch the link so you can come into this meeting we're going to have this evening. And so just give me a moment here. I want to finally ask you to please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't do things or say things you wouldn't do around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm now going to post the link. Let me do that right now. And the link's going to be posted at stunthanger.com/SMF. And it's at the bench. And I'll have today's date, unless I messed up on that. There should be, Friday, June 2nd, and check it out. So here we go. I'm going to go to what I call the control panel and see how the show is streaming. So just give me a moment there to get there. I got to do a couple of clicks to get there. And let's see. Hopefully everyone had a good week this week. And looking forward to a weekend. I actually fly during the week. I went out flying, actually went flying yesterday with Joe Mata and with the new plane, or it's new to me. Plane's about 15 years old, but it's a new to me plane. It's a Brodak Cardinal profile. And yesterday I had a engine run that wasn't too good, and I suspected it was the needle valve, which I've had problems with that motor. And so today I went out there again, and I put in a needle valve. I wasn't sure if it would work. I used a needle valve from a Brodak 40 and put it into the LA 46, and it didn't work. So I went back to the shop and went and got a original OS Max needle. I had to pull it from one of my good running engines. And so after I made that swap, then the motor came on, was able to do a flight, and had a chance to see what the plane flies like. Plane flies pretty good. It's a little bit nose heavy. I'm hoping to put some lighter landing gear on it. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Okay.
Good.
Can you hear anything in the background?
No, not now.
Okay.
I can.
Okay, but some got a vacuum going way back in the other room, and I didn't know whether you could hear it or not.
Well, thanks for asking. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just talking about my adventures. I went out today with my Brodak Cardinal. It's an ARF, and it's a profile Cardinal. Finally got a somewhat of a flight on there for it took a long time. I've been trying to get this plane ready to fly. I changed the lead outs, and this is the same plane. And then went out there yesterday, did not have a good motor run, suspected it was a needle valve, changed the needle valve. I kind of experimented with a Brodak 40 needle valve, and that didn't work. Went back to the shop and got another needle valve, a regular OS Max needle, and now it's working pretty good. So the plane finally, I just did some loops, flew upside down, did some outside loops. It was flying a little bit too fast, so it's clocked at 4.6 second lap times. It's pretty fast. So I didn't do a whole lot. It was windy, but hopefully next time I go out, I'll be able to do some more trimming. But as far as the platform, it seems like a pretty decent flying plane. It's really stable. I've been flying smaller planes, so it's kind of nice to get into a kind of a mid-sized stunner, as opposed to the smaller stunners I've been flying lately. And so what you been up to?
Just working around the yard and stuff.
Okay, very, very cool.
Fixing up stuff. Yeah.
Very, very cool. I haven't had a chance to check that last image, but I will. I know I assume it's beautiful. And looks like Bill Bomer is coming in.
Yeah.
So let's see what's happening with Bill. And looks like Tom Rammel's in the chat box. He said, like provided. And Gary Sinclair, he also said like provided. And he has Gary Sinclair is a member of our YouTube channel. Looks like Bill Bomer. Looks like you have a loop. Did you fix that, Bill? Thank you. You fix that? Sounds like you fixed it. Hey, Bill, how you doing? I don't think Bill can hear me. Bill, can you hear me, Bill?
There we go.
All right.
Yep. Hi, how you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, and getting some airplanes ready to try and do some flying tomorrow.
Oh, good. What planes are you getting ready?
Well, I had an old Forerunner.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know that one.
I'm familiar with it.
Profile. Yeah, that's an old one, been around a long time, but so I've got that, and just getting out some old stuff to get some. I haven't flown in quite a while actually, so I've got a flight streak and a ringmaster and another profile Pilatus that I made years ago, more for profile scale, but it's ready to go. So I, of course, being here in Canada, we had a problem with flying fields, but I
Yes.
reached out to another RC club, and they're very inviting. So
Oh, that's nice. I'm happy to hear
yeah,
that.
I was really happy, and they, in fact, they've got the control line approval at their flying field also. So,
Oh, wow.
and it's only about 45 minutes away from where I am, so I'm heading out there in the morning.
Excuse me.
Hopefully, join the club.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. How far away is it from your home?
It's about 45 minutes. Not bad. That's okay. You know, it's
Okay.
yeah, better than Toronto, which is 2 hours.
Wow.
A lot better than 2 hours.
Oh yeah, and Toronto.
Very cool.
So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to. I can get some regular flying going again.
That is great. That is great. I hope
Yeah.
it's a great day. I know it's, you know what, it's, you know, sometimes when you haven't been out there in a long time, I mean, these little things that can just
Oh yeah,
ruin your day, you know, like your needle valve
Yeah.
assembly, the spray
oh
bar
yeah,
could be plugged, you know, and so you
Yeah.
can't get start and you got to remove the needle and flush that out, and
yeah.
or maybe the
Well,
tank.
that's what I've been playing with that all day, getting stuff ready. So
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Have you flushed out? I know that like I had this plane that I had, but it hadn't been flown in probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So I flushed the fuel tank. I put some methanol, took the tank off, filled it with methanol, and was just shaking it. And then I put it down and go on to something else, come back and agitate it some more, kept agitating. And when I finally got done, and what came out of it was green. It went in
Wow.
clear and came out green.
Wow.
So sometimes you got
Yeah.
to,
One of them, I actually just took the back right off the tank, or the one end.
yeah.
So I unsoldered it so I could clean it out, make sure it was clean, and put it back, and then so I know it's clean.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Let me welcome Ed. Hey, Ed, how you doing, Ed?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing good. You sound really good now. You don't have any of that little ailment that was bothering you before, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit of hacking and coughing, but a hell of a lot better. Yeah.
Oh, you
and
sounded.
stuff.
I'm happy for you. That's good.
Yeah. I got to last Tuesday, Paul Kobe, who's a member of Pampa, myself, and Mark Radcliffe, the AMA VP for District 3, we all flew control line out at the field.
Oh,
stuff.
cool.
And that. So I'm getting better. I lasted a minute and a half.
Very,
Pretty happy, you know.
very
and stuff.
good.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah. Paul Colby, of course, he enters an intermediate, and so he was helping us out. And Mark Radcliffe at Triple Tree, one of his assistant VPs, built a ARF Nobler, and after helping him get it to fly, he says, "What do you want it? You want it?" And so Mark got it from him, and so Mark was out there practicing, and you know, after several flights of getting things adjusted and stuff, you know, he was doing some loops and a lap inverted and stuff like that. So we had a blast.
All right.
Very good. Very good. Did you ever
Yeah.
get a chance to fly those that plane you showed?
The
Yeah.
Foamy, that's what I was flying.
How did it
Because-
fly?
Oh, it flies great. It's got good line tension. I did some loops, and when I did the loop, after a minute and a half spinning around. It was a little bit unsteady. So I had him chop the throttle because I've got it hooked up to a aircraft radio, and landed. But what I want to make sure is that it's something that is cheap enough to try inverted flying and some easy figure eights and stuff. So that's the whole purpose of that. And of course, once I get a little bit more to steady on my legs, I've got several other aircraft to get out there and fly.
Oh, that is great. That's great. That's great.
Yep. And got a couple of youths that are supposedly interested. So I'll be working on trying to get that done this summer and stuff, in between going everywhere and stuff.
That is great. That is really good. I'm happy you went flying. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. Every time I go, I can do a few more. And I like I said, I had double knee replacements and I had hernia mesh replacements. So the body's getting stronger and being able to do stuff again. So a nice thing to help me get motivated is what it is.
Yes, and being outside and enjoying the outdoors and all that it's nice. It's a nice hobby.
Yeah, I'll be spending the week up at Brodax. Got hotel reservations.
Oh man,
and then also at the Nats and stuff. So
well, I hope next year. I was talking to my friend Joe Mata, and I was talking to him about let's go to Brodax and the Nats next year. So we're spinning our brains. We're trying to figure out how we can do it. We're going to be having to haul at least 2 of my planes and maybe 1 or 2 of his planes and drive across the country. And so we're trying to think how we're going to do this, but that's good. Wish I was going to Brodax this year. And I think it's someone who was next. Caffeine, are you still there, Caffeine? I see Avatar.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Caffeine, how you doing?
I'm doing good, but yeah, I just few flights this week. It's a long weekend in Indonesia, so I did some flying, but yeah, still struggling to find the best engine setup.
Yeah, that's one thing that's we have to have is a good engine setup. I was struggling with that with my, by the way, I flew my Cardinal today for the very first, first time where I was actually able to do maneuvers and stuff. And it's kind of neat. It's a stable platform, and mine's nose heavy for me. It'd probably be fine for other people, but for me, it's not responsive enough. And so I'm looking forward to getting more flights in that. But I was thinking of you and Lynn Burrell, because I know Lynn Burrell really liked his Cardinal, and so that's pretty cool. So
yeah, yeah, I've got Enyas on my Vector and Cardinal, and I think it's just when it really likes really high RPM, and on the needle is on the linear side. So yeah, I'm going to put some pantyhose on the venturi to make my venturi small. So I think I was suggested by I got this advice from a lot of people. So yeah, hopefully it can tame down a little my engine, so I can get the best running for my engine.
Yeah, I'm just not at all familiar with Enyas. I have a few Enyas, but I have an Enya 40 that I ran, but that's about the extent of it. And I think I pretty much ran it just like my LA 46, as far as the same prop and everything, and same fuel. Yeah. So, but you're running an Enya 35, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it might be a totally different prop than I can advise you with. So I don't know, but maybe on the forum, see who else has had success with Enya 35s, and maybe see what prop and fuel and line length and all that stuff, and have you ever watched that prop video I have on my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I did. That? Okay, that's a very good dissertation on props. Great information.
Do you guys put pantyhose on your venturi, or not always?
I always have filters on my Venturis. Now my Talon, the way the cowl was, I couldn't fit The filter that I use it's like a boot that slides on and has a little filter inside there, an element. That was too bulky. So I actually did use pantyhose on my Venturi, but I used it mostly just to keep the dust out because I was flying on a dust thing. But Wendy has a video out there, engine tuning, and he talks about using pantyhose or filters to detune it. Motor. So it is an application, but I'm not using it for that, you know.
Okay.
I think
But if you use that, you get that effect, right?
yeah, for
Even
me,
though
when I have put a Venturi, it's basically like getting a smaller Venturi. So you lose a little bit of the power.
yeah.
So which sometimes that's a good thing. I mean, some planes you need all the power you can get. It all depends upon what's going on.
Yep.
And the run characteristics can change a little bit with a smaller Venturi ID. Yeah, I've always been going the other way to get more power, especially when I had my Strega, which was 80 ounces at the end. I was going bigger and bigger Venturis. Not
okay. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
I think Philip came in next. Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing well. I'm out here flying in the field that you're familiar with. Hi, Vicky. How you doing, Vicky? Thank you, Vicky, for saying hi to me. I appreciate it. Miss you, Vicky and Phil, when you guys came out. I was in that store last week or 2 weeks ago. I was in that Marshall's hardware store.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I know Phil wishes he was here with me.
Yeah, there's several things there I'd like to get some more of.
Yeah.
But caffeine's the trick on the hose. You can use that not just for the hose, but you can use it to put 2 layers on or 3 layers on. Like we're only at 900 feet, but when I go down near the ocean, like to Florida, I'll put 3 layers of pantyhose on and make sure that they're cross-hatched. You know, instead of everything laying like this, make sure and that cuts the size of the vent down without having to change a Venturi and all that nonsense. And you get the same effect. So it works. It's just, I got to give credit to, I know Lindy's the one came up with it, but now I can't think of his name. But anyway, fella used to fly with us a lot, came up with that on his Tiger 60 in his Strega. And Kent Tyser. And he showed me that trick a long time ago, years ago, but it works.
Yeah, I just get like O-rings and I use a rubber O-ring to hold down the pantyhose.
Yeah. Yeah. And he even showed me take the O-ring out of the airplane and take a little round file and cut you a little groove in it halfway down where the O-ring will fit into.
Nice.
And then the O-ring, it holds in place without sliding off. There's all kinds of little tricks. You pick up stuff from everybody.
Oh,
I even learned a thing or two from Dennis. I can't say that straight.
Well, what he learned is that he doesn't put any pantyhose on his outrunners. That's for sure.
No, outrunners don't need any pantyhose. No, that's right. True. No, but I tell you what, I haven't been well. Anyway, I haven't learned that much from Dennis as far as little tricks like that because I haven't been around him that much. But I learned a heck of a lot from his dad. Mm-hmm. That man could teach you more in 30 minutes than a lot of people could teach in a year. And just stuff that why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Absolutely.
So everybody had a good week?
Have you done any flying or anything, Phil? Or
I went out there the other day, but I haven't been able to fly. My truck is in the body shop and nothing I have except the ringmaster will fit in the back seat of a convertible Mustang. I just didn't feel like flying the ringmaster the other day, but I'm taking it in the morning.
All right,
we're meeting out there at 8:00. So anyway,
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go to Brodak.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming in. It's great to have a nice crowd going. So let me try to get. I think Jonathan Karadas was next. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Charles. Yeah, I see there's been a few guys lost in action, in the last week or two.
Who's that?
Numbers are down a bit tonight. Or maybe they're
tonight. Oh, yeah. It's still early though. Still early.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I was just going to say to Catherine, usually with my experience with most Enyas is I usually run like hell the other way as quick as I can because it's like a good American bourbon. I usually I usually regret it the day after.
That's
I
fun.
will. I can't argue that one.
That's funny.
No, they drive me crazy, Ineos. They drive me nuts. I think you've got to run them in for about 100 years. I think that's the trick.
Have you been doing any building or refinishing or anything, Jonathan?
Oh, just messing around inside. The weather's been horrible. We've having a bit of work done around the house here, and I helped a guy last week. One of the guys in the club last week get airborne. I just helped him get the planes in the air, and he had 3 flights, and then on the 3rd flight when he landed, it began to hose down. So that was good timing. But that's the closest I've been to a flying aeroplane in about 2 weeks.
What plane was he flying? What was it?
He was flying the Magician.
Oh man, it's one of my favorite planes.
Yeah,
I got to
yeah.
build the Magicians. When I was a kid, that was one of my best flying planes. It was a Midwest 48-inch Magician.
Yep.
And I had
Yeah, he
flaps on mine. Did his have flaps or no flaps?
Sorry?
Did his Magician have flaps or no flaps? I mean, movable flaps. Did his have movable
Oh,
flaps?
sorry, flaps. Yeah, sorry. Got a bit of a racket around the corner. No flaps. And he can do pretty much the whole, what we call the sportsman pattern here, or the classic pattern. I haven't seen him do the F2B with it, but I think it's possibly capable of most of them, I would guess, because it's a very maneuverable plane. And I got a feeling a couple of years back when I didn't go to the Nationals, he got 1st or 2nd place at the Nationals with it, an F2B. So it's a pretty good plane from memory. I'm pretty sure he got a 2nd. Yeah, so yeah, he's a good pilot.
Very cool. Very cool. And I think Dennis was next. Hey Dennis, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys.
So
Hi,
what's you up to,
Hey,
Dennis?
Dennis.
Let's see, 1 day of flying and 3 days of yard work. Got
Sounds
a little bit
familiar.
of shop time in there, so I've been messing around, but nothing terribly dramatic, nothing worth showing off or anything like that. But oh hey, next week is full court push for Brodak. So
Yeah, I wish I was going. I hope maybe to make it there next year. I really am thinking about making it there for Joe's benefit too, because Joe needs to go to such a grand event like Brodak's, which is biggest contest I've ever been to in my life.
It's just fun.
It is. It is so much fun. It is so much fun.
I mean,
And Phil, I do plan on,
just having fun. Don't even get to fly, and it's still fun. So
yeah, Phil, I do plan on scheduling you onto the MOBES this time. We talked about it last
Okay.
time. We'll make it happen this
I'll
time.
have to skip the overheads, but I can do everything else.
Yeah, do what you can.
Yeah.
So,
That's it. That's it. And do you still need a handle? Because I found one.
yes, I do. If you can bring one, that'd be outstanding.
I've got one of those. I think it's a Brodak. I don't know, but it's just got a flat. I'll show it to you Monday night. I'll have it here Monday night.
Yeah, is it a
It's an
cable?
adjustable one. It's got all the adjustments, and it's cable, but
Okay.
it's a neat little handle.
Yeah, I just think if you're passing off something to somebody starting off or something like that, it seems to me a cable is a more realistic expectation than a hard point
Mhm.
first, right out of the box.
Oh yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, hard points, you got to have all these different clips. You have to have a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah. It's just
kind of hard to adjust. Where the cable, you can just pull it through. Make
Yeah.
it.
I mean, obviously, the hard points have a lot going for it, but and especially, I'm anticipating having the Magician finished for that. That'll be the giveaway airplane. I keep going round and round between that, the Shark 402, the Flight Streak, heaven forbid, a Ringmaster, but it'll be the same. Hopefully, I'll make up a set of lines for it, and we'll have a handle, and it'll be awfully close to ready to fly when they get it. I have to find a battery and plug it in. So.
I don't know if you're keeping up on Sparky, but I actually heard Sparky most recent shows. He finally flew a set of lines that you made for him, and he likes it. He said He said so. He said he needs to figure out how to tie that knot. So I think you got another.
I'll take some string and show him at Rodak.
Yeah, he liked it, so that's good.
Yeah, Dennis. I use Spectra lines on my little trainer, and so far so good as far as making them and tying them and having them survive.
Yeah, I think on a trainer, it's a good thing too, because the lines are durable. And if anybody gets stumbling around and tripping on lines and stuff like that, they're less likely to damage those than they would be steel. So,
and another advantage for experimental purposes, when I was looking at line length, I just made myself some simple extensions and hooked them up together. So I know what my final line length would be to make a set. So that was another nice thing to do. Which is real simple with the little rings that you showed and the knot tying and stuff. So I appreciate that.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. You can't do that. You can't do that so easy with stainless steel, but with the Spectres, that'd be easy to throw an extension on with those rings. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
And it's not anything to continue with. It's right. strictly identifying or getting the speed down that you want with the line length.
Yeah, that's neat. And you can do it at the field. Really, because I tie my lines in my driveway, and it's a really elaborate what I got to go through to make lines. But that can be done at the field. A little bit of spit and tie that surgeon's knot.
Yep.
And you're good.
Yeah, you want to try something 3 foot longer? Just make them 3 foot longer and hook them together real quickly with those clips and see what it does for you. And in my case, it was a 10-foot extension.
10.
Wow.
Yeah, 35 to 45 foot.
Wow.
Actually, if you're going to do that, any kind of regularity, I would suggest that you, where you make the join from line to line, you'll have the ring on it, but then tie the other line, through the ring, so you don't have the line clip there.
Yeah.
And it'd be a lot less chance of it hanging up on itself or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But once again, now that I know the line length that I do, I'm going to make a set and that stuff will go by the wayside. But good point. Thank you.
Very cool. Let me just catch up on the chat box real quick. Marcel Legrand says, hi, Charles, and everyone. I hope everyone is well. Thank you, Marcel. I appreciate that. And then Marcel Legrand, then he retracted that last message. I think who was next in was Mark White. Thank you.
How you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Good. Well, I tried something a little different. I took my 63-foot 0.015 steel lines and went fishing with them. It was tough putting it on the spinning reel.
Yeah.
But I just thought I'd give it a try. And,
yeah, sure.
And it reminded me of my first. I remember going to America's Hobby Center and buying a magician. I brought the kit home, and it was weird because I opened it up and it was empty. So I brought it back to America's Hobby Center. I said, "What's the deal?" And he said, "Well, when you left, it was full, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, that's why they call it a magician." More serious note. What I've been doing, I'm just. I feel like an administrative assistant of some sort, but there's so much going on right now, a lot of it induced by me. I thought it'd be a good idea to get 3 committees going where I would kind of nominate the district director and let them choose whoever they want on the committee. And it turns out all of them are really doing a good job, and I wanted them to report at the NATS at the Pampa meeting, the general membership meeting, what's going on. But one of the things and Scott Richland's heading this, is a planning committee. And because I've been in this seat now, I don't know, 13 months or so. And it's loose. It makes me uncomfortable. There's not a table of contents or a guidebook. So I said, why don't we do a 5-year plan? And that has turned into a very interesting and very informative project. And last night, it was last night, I couldn't stay on it long, but a couple of guys were able to. And the guest was the guy who runs the National Free Flight Society, okay, which has about 1,100 members. And he's very bright, very knowledgeable, very heady on social media and computers and all that, and very willing to share what they do, which is interesting. They have a larger base because it includes indoor, it's rubber, it's everything that's not tethered or motored, I guess would be the right term for it. You know, we're learning a lot. We're learning the importance of funds. Because in today's world, membership dollars are pretty much eaten up by overhead costs, you know, including mailings of newsletters. It's hard to get ahead. And you have to be careful of where you end up with the dues because you push people away. So, but it's very interesting. Joe Daly has headed up a committee to come up with the Northeast Pampa Regionals, which is now in ink. It'll be in I think it's around mid-September, 16th, 17th in New Jersey. We thought we'd try to we found a good spot, a good facility, and it's a combination of a couple of contests that agreed not to run and see if we could get a bigger base.
Oh, wow, that's a good idea.
So, without other people in Pampa knowing, I said we would provide money for trophies. You know, if the name Pampa's on it, there's got to be some reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm trying to do is get 5 or 6 by the end of next year and have the same trophies. The only difference would be, you know, where is it? Would it be the Southeast? Would it be the Northwest? Would it be the Southwest? Someone recommended, might be someone on here, may have been Denny, who said, what about Brodak? And I'm going to talk to them when I go out there, well, a week from tomorrow, and see what that would mean, because it has a large audience to begin with. You know, we have a committee looking at the newsletter and looking at the website and figuring out where should things really be. And how do you modernize the website, make sure you have current things going on? So then you add the Nats, and then you add the banquet, which is, it'll be a tremendous event. It's very time consuming, but it'll be worth it. And now we're trying to, you know, not me, but the team trials are going to be in October. I think they're in the Houston area, if I remember right. And then the World Championships are coming up in 24. Not sure where yet, but you know, it's just a lot of moving parts, and fairly close together. And then I have to drive to West Virginia if I can find it, and
I'll send you a map.
All right, and work with him, which is pretty much a joy. It really is. And I think Will Davis said he would go with me. He said he doesn't know if people up there would understand him, but I think they would.
They won't.
They won't. They won't.
He talks like I do. They won't.
I've got him on my to hopeful list to be confirmed. I was going to talk to him at Brodax.
Yeah, he'll add quite a dimension to that event. Kids in West Virginia will be saying wheel instead of will.
Yeah.
And they'll be eating liver mush, but I guess that's okay.
We'll have him a pepperoni. We'll have him a pepperoni roll ready.
There you go. There you go.
What's wrong with liver?
Southeast Pampa Regionals will be the co-name of KOI. We wanted to help keep KOI going, and Wayne Smith is a wonderful guy to work with. So a lot of good things going on. We have a lot to do. And so I think it's all good. It doesn't give you a lot of time in the circle, but I hope I can fix that at Brodak.
Good.
Yeah.
And regarding the banquet, is there any possibility that it could be live streamed or at least video recorded and maybe uploaded later on, maybe edited version or something?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I haven't talked to Sparky about it, but some of the guys have. He's usually there anyway, and he's usually nice enough to do it. So I'm hoping, because that'll be, that'll be a somewhat historic event in terms of who's there
Mhm.
and how often they'll be able to come back for something like this.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, including, the Pampa president is, just turned 40. So,
Oh
Again,
man, that's old.
almost again.
no, you know better. So it's all good. It's just a lot.
I
But
bet.
that's
Well,
okay. That's okay.
I appreciate
You
all
did-
your
did-
hard work.
No problem.
Mark, did you just have a birthday?
Huh?
Did you just have a birthday?
It feels like it. Now, in 6 months, let's see. I used to be in the financial services business, and in my company, your insurance age was your closest birthday,
Yeah.
Within 6
And I
months.
just- I just passed 77 insurance age, so I'll be 78. And I'm
When's
trying
your
to,
birthday?
yeah, I'm trying in November. I'm trying to find a spot maybe at Muncie where I could be, my ashes could be released.
I don't think that's allowed at the IAC.
I'm sure there's some people's ashes should be spread there, but they're still living. So that's another story.
That was
That's
bad.
another
Mark.
story.
That
Let
was
me
bad.
let me interrupt. Marcel Legrand, he has a question for you, John Carradas. He's like, I've been trying to reach you through Facebook. Are you on Facebook, Jonathan Carradas? You're muted, Jonathan, by the way.
No, he's not.
There we go. Yeah. No,
Oh,
Facebook to me is a bit like Enya. I tend to run the hell as fast as I can the other way.
Well, let me see here. Well, you guys are both on Stunthangar forum, right? So maybe you guys could catch up each other using the forum at the personal message each other.
Yeah, I'll
Good
have a
idea.
look there. Yeah.
And Marcel, try reaching Jonathan Carradas on the
Oh,
Stunthangar.
is that Marcel Legrand?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know the guy. Okay. Hi, Marcel. Yeah, I'll get hold of him.
All right, cool. And I think I might be mistaken, but I think Mark Gerber came in next. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good, Charles. How are you?
Doing well. What's the update and news on your Bearcat?
Well, not as good as I'd like.
Uh-oh.
Well, last time you flipped the plane and broke the rudder a little bit, right? You fixed that, right?
Yep. And it happened again.
Oh, no.
Oh,
ooh.
you gotta get that landing gear in the right spot.
Well, I thought I did.
Yeah, that's let's see here. That's the pretty picture. Okay.
Here's Keith and I the day we did the first flight.
Right.
And here was the crack on the vertical stabilizer.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But a couple of things. I made a really amazing discovery. You may find this helpful if you have a plane that's been painted with gloss coat. I used hot stuff to CA to, fill in this crack. I held the rudder right back in the vertical position really tight and just dribbled hot stuff in here. Well, the trouble with the CA is that no matter how good you think you are, you always get someone, that runs away on the surface
Yeah.
somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But there's another long story about how I discovered that nitromethane is a great solvent for CA.
It is.
Mhm.
Nitromethane will not dissolve the gloss coat.
Oh,
So
cool.
when you get done with the repair, you can clean it up really easily by just taking nitromethane and rubbing it across there. So the repair I ended up with, is hardly seeable. I'll fill it in and do it right later, but That was a big discovery I made that made this a whole lot better than it would have been.
Oh, okay.
Mark, is that a build-up rudder?
Yeah. There's a 2/16-inch sheets, one on each side, and then there's ribs in the middle and spar in the center and leading edge up here.
Do you cross grain your wood when you glue them on? You know, on one side you run the grain one direction, on the other side
Now
you
both
run
both
'em-
sides, the grain's going up and down.
Oh,
Anyway, here's what I did. I got some really fat wheels. These are 3.5 inch. The regular ones are those skinny. Oh, here's the regular ones.
Okay.
yeah.
Here's the regular ones. They're 3 inches, but they're really narrow. And then these that I put on it are much fatter. They're almost twice as wide. And they're 3.5 inches in diameter. And then I bent the gear forward. So almost the whole wheel was in front of the leading edge.
Right.
And I thought I was home free. And I was adjusting the tank height, and I got it to where it was really almost identical up and right inverted.
Mm-hmm.
And I flew it through a pattern. It flew really, really well.
Nice.
I was really happy.
Good.
But then I landed
Uh-oh.
and it flipped again.
Oh, man.
And it created a crack like this on the other side.
Oh,
Almost identical pair.
Oh, really?
So for the foreseeable future, the Bearcat's going to be restricted to pavement or fabric runways. So I'll bring it along to Brodax and we'll do some fun flying over on Circle 5 where the pavement is. Unless the grass is
Can I ask a dumb question?
fair.
Those wheels, the hubs, are they plastic on the axle?
Yeah,
All right. How about you take the wheels off that thing, drill that hub out a little bit and put a piece of brass tubing in there?
I already did. It's in there. You can't really see it here, but it's in there.
Okay. Makes it roll a lot easier.
Oh yeah, that was my first criteria, was to get them where they roll really freely before you even
Yeah.
started.
Hey,
It's
Mark,
a beautiful airplane. I can't wait to see it.
when your engine quits and it's gliding, is it pretty neutral?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's not nose heavy?
no, I mean,
Okay,
it's trimmed out really well.
good.
But
when does it flip?
the grass that's on this field, this is a spot where it's much thinner than normal. And I
Yeah.
think I just don't have a good bare field to fly off of. It's just, you don't know what you hit out here sometimes with the thicker grass.
Yeah.
When does it flip up? Are you actually doing the ground run, or does it flip up immediately you touch down?
It flips up when?
Immediately when you hit the ground?
No, it rolls a while and then it, as it start running out of speed, then it'll nose over.
Well, we fly a lot on grass, and that to me looks as though it's clumpy, like your wheels would be hitting dirt in places and then grass and dirt and grass. It looks pretty rough to me. I think that might be a problem more than anything else.
Yeah, anyway, like I said, I'm going to restrict it to pavement and fabric right now. We've got a fabric circle down at the club, but it's 57 miles away.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a question, Mark. If you was to put the plane on his nose, would it stay there or would it slowly fall back where the tail wheel hits the ground?
I think it'll stay there because this gear, it's almost 9 inches from the center of gravity up here to the bottom of the wheels. And that's incredibly long gear. And, any kind of impact from the front, from a clump of grass or anything, creates a really strong moment that tip it forward.
Yeah. Mark,
So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just, like I said, it's an inherent thing in the plane, and I've thought about making a shorter set of gear.
I don't know which.
I may do that,
Bearcat-
but it looks kind of squatty. Then it kind of takes some of the Bearcat look away from it.
Yeah.
How much prop clearance do you have? If you put the plane up level, like it's taking off, how much prop clearance do you have?
Tons.
How much?
Tons.
Shorten the gear. Shorten the gear. Al drew that plan. When Al drew those plans, he drew those gear all the way out. And you have to look real close and see where it is. There's a picture of a tire that's all the way down, and then there's a kind of a ghost image of it where it's retracted, and that's when it's sitting on the ground. But it's about 3/4 of an inch shorter than those. He had springs in his gears.
Well, not on his Bearcat 3. He put the springs, the first plane he put the springs on was the Sea Fury.
No. If you read the classic instructions to that airplane, because I've got his kit. If you read the classic instructions to that airplane, he said that in I think it was, Keith can correct me, in 69, I think it is, he and Keith were 1 and 2 at the Nationals, and he bounced the landing, and Keith won by, I think it was 1 point or 3 points or something, because Keith didn't bounce the landing.
Yeah, that was in 1970. That was with the Bearcat 3.
Well, what's this one?
This is a Bearcat 3.
Okay, well, 6 months after that, he had the springs on it. He said he would
the next plane he built in 71 was the Sea Fury, and that's when he put the springs on it.
Well, he had one of these with springs on it.
Well, after he got back into the hobby in the 90s and he started building his BBQB Bearcats, then he put springs on them. But he didn't have springs on his original Bearcat 3.
I would still shorten that gear.
Anyway, that's
if you've got an inch of clearance, if you've got an inch of clearance, that's all you should need. Whatever else you got, cut it off. Cut them back a little bit.
Bill, if he's flying off grass, an inch is not enough. If you're flying on asphalt, that's fine, but not on grass.
That's true, but he said he's going to fly it on asphalt now. I'd hate as bad as it dings one up to flip it on grass. You don't want to flip one on asphalt.
No, but I don't think on asphalt you're going to get anywhere near the resistance on the wheels that you get in grass.
No, probably not. I've got a little Stunt Wagon 30 I showed everybody a year or two ago, and it flies, one of the better flying old timers I've ever had, but it will not land on grass. Now on asphalt, I can wear you out, but on grass, forget it. It only weighs 20. I've forgotten. It's light. It's real light. And you touch down, and the thing just touches down. And rolls about 6 feet, 8 feet, something rather than and it's got such a short rudder. It's ridiculous. So it's a Stunt 30, not the 60.
You can shorten the gear. You can shorten the gear probably 2 or 3 inches before you have to start worrying about the prop.
I'd shorten it as much as I thought I could get away with.
Hey, Mark, have you ever flown it without those wheel spats on?
You mean the
gear doors?
The gear doors?
The gear doors, yeah.
No.
Try it.
I'm not going to do any more experiments on grass with this airplane.
Do you have the option of having an alternate landing gear for grass? Does that gear bolt on? Does that gear bolt on or attach easily such that you can have a separate gear for grass?
Yeah, it's removable.
Why don't you have one that sticks out forward for grass?
That's a good idea. A grass gear and an asphalt gear.
No, that's what I've been actually thinking about. I've got plans drawn up to. Well, I moved these up 1 inch on the plans, and it's starting to look squatty already. But I could move it up another inch.
You want to move the gear forward to the point that when you put the nose down, it'll just gently fall back onto the tail wheel.
On the tail wheel.
If it stays there with the nose on the ground, your gear's not forward enough for grass anyways. You got to keep bending them forward until it slowly falls back down.
I have 3 sets of gear. I have pavement gear, grass gear, and Polish potato field gear.
Yeah.
Polish potatoes.
Yeah, for flying in Polish potato fields.
I understand. I've never flown in Polish potato fields, but
Anyway, I'm gonna take it to,
which one's further forward? The Poland potato field?
Potato field.
Is
Yes.
yeah.
grass? Okay. All right, cool.
I had 2 sets for my Stinger, but everybody said the grass and rough field gear would look like a cartoon on it. So
I'll take it to Brodex. We'll take it over to Circle 5 and we'll have some fun someday.
sounds like a winner.
When I get back to Colorado, I'll do a better repair on the rudder and look at making a different set of gear.
It's a pretty airplane though.
Yeah, it is.
And I got a new hat too.
A new hat?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There
Right,
you
very
go.
nice. So
Cool.
very cool, very cool.
And what I'm doing now is I got my P40 back out and I'm getting that ready to go too. So
Oh, that's still a pretty plane too. That's a pretty plane.
Which kit is that? Or was that a kit or a scratch build?
no, it's a scratch built. That's a Parrot P40.
Okay. Yeah, I have plans to that. A
Is
nice
that the same
airplane.
field?
What's
Is
that?
that the same field?
Yeah, it is.
Well, if that was me, I wouldn't fly off that. I'm sorry. No, well, I mean, I don't think it's your undercarriage. I think it's your field.
I'll tell you something. If you look at that photo, those wheels are not very far forward, and you're not having any problem with it, are you?
Oh, but they're only down 4 or 5 inches from the center of gravity. This is really short gear compared to what we got on the Bearcat.
A pretty airplane. You built some pretty planes.
Well, thanks. This one is 8 years old now.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing that at Brodak a year or 2 back.
Yeah, I've had it at Brodex before in VSC,
Yeah.
and that's last year.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that's where I am, Charles.
All right. Well, I understand how frustrating that is. I've flipped planes on
Oh,
grass.
and then for Phil, I am painting a propeller black
There
with
you
yellow
go.
tips.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna-
Now you remember.
I'm taking one of these, and I've got it downstairs. I just put the black on it, so it'll be black with yellow tips.
Yeah.
Remember the yellow tip only goes on the front side of it. The pilot just sees black, so it wasn't such a distraction.
Well, it's too late. I put it in the back too. So
Well, it ain't gonna hurt nothing.
next time.
It ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Yeah.
It'll look good either way.
Well, the pilot's looking the other direction anyway.
Yeah,
Very
but
nice.
Phil, don't have much of imagination. You got a Mustang convertible. Why can't you put the top down to haul your airplanes?
the last time I did that, somewhere between here and the field, the airplane went exit stage left and went straight up and landed on the ground. And then the next thing I heard was a loud splat as the car behind me rolled over it.
Oh,
We don't do that anymore.
Ouch.
Yeah, we had them in the back of our truck, and it had a sliding rear window, and Pete Peterson, I think, was driving, and he happened to glance in the rearview mirror and says, "Gordy, look out." And his airplane had come up even with the back window, and I reached out and grabbed it. And then he slowed back down, the airplane settled.
Golly, Pete. No, I have a hard cover that goes over mine in the pickup, but
I need to put some lead on it.
the what?
Put some lead on it so it can't come out. Or tie
No,
it to the seat belt.
Well, I thought about that, but my wife's car has a roll bar in it, and that's it's not really a roll bar; it's a light bar, but everybody thinks it's a roll bar, and it's got that kit where you raise that thing up and going down the highway. You can sit and talk to the person next to you. It's not like a regular convertible. It's a nice little car, but I hate taking all that stuff out and leaving it at the house because then I have to remember to take it back out there and put it back in. And I've got CRS, and I admit it. I forget something every time.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm just telling the truth on me. I can't remember stuff.
Well, I got the same problem.
I know the feeling.
So Gordon, you've been doing any working on your Heinz 57?
No, I'm trying to put a Pathfinder back together. I loaned it to Jim, and he took it up to Northwest Regionals and planted it straight in.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Ooh.
So was I.
You sound like you have the same luck. You have the same luck loaning airplanes that I do.
He kind of let the what I want to say slip of the tongue. That he said the motor quit as he turned vertical for the 4-leaf. And then a little bit later, he says, well, I done a couple extra maneuvers that I didn't like, so he did them over.
Oh, so he ran out of fuel and crashed.
He ran out of fuel. But if he would have just flown the pattern, he would have ran out of fuel.
We could spread his ashes.
Very good, Mark. Oh man,
Mark's in rare form tonight. We got to watch.
I'm angry.
Yeah, down here close to sea level, your engine won't run as long. Or was this an electric?
Yeah, well,
he was slow. It was icy.
Oh, yeah, they don't run as long down here.
Yeah. So anyway, I spent 4.5 hours digging stuff out of the fuselage and leather fillets. Oh my word! I never put leather fillets on profile before. I sanded and finally got them back down to the wood. But it didn't break the fuselage, didn't hurt the stabber, elevator, or the rudder, and it demolished my beautiful Brodak spinner.
Oh.
And
that's a shame.
Didn't even break the prop.
Oh Lord!
Three blade carbon fiber never broke it.
Nice.
Wow.
Yep.
So the spinach was destroyed and the airframe's okay?
No, the wings destroyed.
Okay.
But the fuselage survived. Well, it's crushed the nose ring, behind the spinner.
Right.
And pushed it back. We ended up having to pull that off to get the engine out. And I still got to put the engine on the dial indicator, see if it bent the crank or not. I really don't think it did as straight in as he went.
Wow.
I can't seem to get him to want to come out and help me, but he won't build for himself. So I can't imagine wanting to come out and help me rebuild it.
You could learn something. I would take advantage of it.
Well, if I crashed somebody's airplane, I'd be down there every day trying to get it put back together.
Right.
Build a new one,
Gordon, people don't have the same ed. They don't grow up like we did. If we borrowed something, we were supposed to return it in at least as good a shape as it was in when we borrowed it, or buy them a new one. Well, they don't do that anymore. Now they destroy it for you and say it broke.
Jim's from our era. It's just, he's never been married, never had a girlfriend. And
oh my goodness.
He's just lazy. I tried to get him to look at the rib pattern on the kit he has, and he's too busy to do it because he was watching a race. It wasn't 500, but it was similar to that. So they called me about 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight.
Sorry to hear about that. That's too bad, and you lose a good plane.
Oh, it was one of the better profiles I've had. I've had several Pathfinders profiles, and this one was a sweetheart.
Oh wow. Okay, well, sorry about that.
Yeah,
really am.
What motor did you have on it?
Pardon?
What motor was on it?
LA 46.
All right.
That's what I was thinking about putting on my. There's that little short fellow over balancing the prop.
So the
Yeah,
oh, that's
little
funny.
short fella. Little
That's
short fella. I met him in Brodak last year, and I had to look up. I said, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
He don't look that tall. Him and his son don't look that tall on TV, but I'm telling you what, you meet him, and that's a tall rascal right there.
Yeah, Angsham's 6'6" now, just turned 13. So
Wow.
Oh,
He don't need to fall in love with sports cars. I'm gonna tell you that.
That's for
yeah,
sure.
you know what? He loves talking cars and looking at cars all the time. And yeah, I hate to break his heart, but half the stuff that he wants to get into and crawl into, he's not going to be able to get in that stuff. So
Yeah, I fell in love with a Bug Eye Sprite. It's in 1963 Austin Healey Bug Eye Sprite, and I slipped down into one. Then they had to go get a wrench so we could take the steering wheel off so I could get back out of it. True story.
Is that true, really?
Do what?
Is that true, Phil?
It's a true story. I had just finished rebuilding the car. I was not gonna drive it or do anything to it. I found it in a junkyard and I fixed it up. It had MGB motor and transmission in it. A hopped up MGB motor. It had conventional shocks on it instead of those L-shaped things that MG and Austin used. You know, they're all British Leyland. So it was a hopped up little car, and we took it took it home on a trailer, and I was going to get in it and back it off the trailer. And my older brother, who's 6'8", is sitting back and he's looking at me and smiling. I couldn't figure out. He looked like a Cheshire cat. Okay. Anyway, I went to back it off the trailer. And I got it off the trailer, but I couldn't get out of it. Okay, back to airplanes. Back to airplanes.
Thank you. I still haven't said hi to Tryon. I think excuse me, Carl. I think Carl was next. Hey, Carl, thank you for coming in, Carl. I know we was out there flying today, and well, we had some beautiful overcast weather to fly in today.
Oh boy,
is that right, Carl?
yeah, we did.
So
am I coming through?
Yeah, you're coming through.
Okay. Yeah, it was a beautiful day, except for one of our buddies crashed his plane today, which we all felt bad for him. So
yeah, I missed that. No. I had left temporarily and came back, and I saw the carnage.
Oh yeah, that happened while you were gone.
Which airplane did you tear up?
It
was
the green Banshee. I think you saw it when you I don't know if you flew it when he was out here. Did he fly it?
Yeah, he flew it one flight.
He's doing good with that plane. So
that's a shame.
I think.
Yeah, I was busy looking something up on the internet, and I heard a plane going around, and I heard this thud, and I didn't actually see what caused the problem, but I think he got. I think the wind got a hold of it and got slack on the cables, and he tried to recover, but not well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think after Carl, I think it was Tryon, and then Steve, maybe even Brendan. Hey, Tryon, thanks for coming in. How you doing?
Doing good, buddy.
Have you done any flying or building? You want to share with us?
Well, actually, I start to build something, but I'm not doing the building. So
your son's doing the building?
Yeah, actually, it's one of our family acquaintance. They have a young boy, 14 years old, and he started to build a kit that I actually won recently at the Triple Tree.
Oh, great! Well, what kit is this?
The Spirit of Saginaw.
Oh, okay. That's what Peter Navai is building. That and his Pathfinder LE.
Yeah. So yeah, we just started on it today. He's very excited and it's great. I mean, what can I say?
That's good. That's good.
I understand that you lost the Revolutions.
No, it's not lost. I mean, it's damaged, but not lost.
Okay, good. So, well, what happened to that? You haven't been on since then.
Oh, not because of that, but so what happened, just having fun with it and just pushing it real hard and try to find the edge, and I found the edge.
Okay. Well, what maneuver was you doing?
I'm not sure what I was doing. Probably just a very deep square.
I think it's what it was.
I was very deep into a square.
He was hammering some squares.
Was this an official flight or is it a practice?
No, just testing new things. I put a new prop on it, and I was using that Falcon prop, which I really like. Then I started. I made an executive decision to how am I going to position my hand during flight, and I was testing that idea out, and it turned out to be the best decision I ever made. And I was really started to get in in sync with the plane, and just try to start to relax and just go for it. And maybe I was going for it a little bit more than I usually do. And the attachment points, one of them, I think the top and lower spar both sheared off clean, and the outboard wing departed. And as I was turning, and obviously the inboard wing didn't have enough lift to, and I was very deep into the maneuver. So, the nose, it's smashed a little bit, but I think I'm going to make a new nose for it. Probably I'm going to just gut all the stuff from inside the old nose and just make a new one, because I have all the material cut out and stuff like that. And other than that, just minor repairs.
I'm curious. What prop did you have prior to the Falcon, and how do they compare?
I think they kind of break even. Weight-wise, maybe the Falcon was just a little bit more RPM. I was flying at 5.45, somewhere over there. Very comfortable speed. The Falcon is much quieter, and much quieter, much better balanced, a lot smoother prop. Yes.
What was the name of the other prop, the previous prop? What brand was it?
It was an Zor.
It was a Zor?
Yes.
Okay. Because I haven't bought any or purchased any Falcon props. I've seen them, and I've been curious, to try one, but just hadn't had an opportunity to buy one. So matter of fact, I was curious how it compared to the Zor, because the Zor to me is the best wooden prop as far as a modern prop you can find.
No question about, yeah. For electric, Zor is very, very good, very solid prop, right?
Right.
They're made well. They have the same consistent pitch. I mean, you can change from one prop to the other one, almost no change in transition, buying a new batch. But sometimes from batch to batch, they may vary just a little bit. So very good quality. I can't say anything bad about the Zors, or nowadays you can probably buy a badass prop, which is the same thing with a different color paint on it. Yeah, that's that. And but I do like the Falcon. Falcon is very efficient, very quiet. So yeah, I was
crazy quiet.
Doing some analysis on my attachment bolts that go inside, and I have a relief for the threads, and that relief, it's a smaller diameter than the diameter where I actually lock in the head of the bolt, so it locks the wing. So actually it's sheared right in front of the threads, where the threads start, and have we even took the remaining part from inside the wing. I mean, just it was intact. The fix to that would be to just move up to 1032 screws, or maybe work around the 5mm size, and that would move the failure point back to the head itself. But it never failed from over there, so I never broke a head yet. Might be early to speak about it, but that's shit happens.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you, Tryon. Let me, I think I haven't, well, Brendan's gone, but Steve Smith is in the house with us. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Charles. I went to Denny's contest last weekend,
Right.
and stupid me, I tried to take off from a grass field like I do from the asphalt.
What happened?
And I had a prop strike on a it's a ARF vector, and didn't look too bad from initial look. Went back in the pits, changed the prop, and did a quick check, and lo and behold, the whole motor mount was broke. So Sparky took a look at it, and found out that that stuff was not even light ply. It was some kind of weird balsa plywood. And so he replaced the motor mount, redid the front end with a phenolic mount. I think he's got a 3-part repair video on Stunthangar.
It's a good video.
And I was able to fly it again this week. But the way the thing is set up, it's electric, and the controller, not the controller, the timer kind of has to slide next to the battery, and they're pretty thin wires, and one of the wires broke, so I was done. The wires to the starter button. So I resoldered that, and I'm ready for our fun fly this Saturday. That's starting up tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. Denny put on a great contest. We were very impressed. It was run very well. The meal was included for lunch. It was a great one day deal. But definitely, I'm not going to travel on Highway 69 in Indiana when I go to the Nats in July. There were at least 3 areas where they dropped it to 1 lane each way, and they were backed up like crazy on Friday. And of course, there were people traveling to the Indy 500. That probably had something to do with it.
Maybe.
On the way back, it was no problem on Sunday. So
yeah, it might have been the difference.
Yeah, but no, I think we're going to have some fun here in St. Louis this Saturday. We've got Pete Mazer coming in to get his carrier planes tuned up. We do have a carrier deck in Muncie, or not Muncie, in Booter Park, and we got the weights and the lines and all. So we're going to help him get ready for the Nats. We may have some combat flyers coming in from Kansas City. They want to check it out. They may want to do a contest at Booter Park, combat contest, and we've got plenty of room. In fact, we found some of the center pads, the center concrete pads out beyond our square pad and our carrier deck. They're still out there, and so they may be happy with what the facility has. And of course, we still have the speed cage, and we used that a couple weekends ago for speed contests. So we're very happy with the facilities at Booter Park, and we're hoping we can keep that as long as possible. The good news is it does flood occasionally from the Merrimack River. And that means they aren't building houses or additional soccer fields so far. So we're in good shape.
Very good. Very, very cool.
Steve, you fly electric, right? And when you take off the grass, are you taking off at are you launching with 0 RPM, or somebody's holding the plane more for you to spool up and then you go?
Someone's holding the plane till it gets to full RPM.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I just tried to take off like I do on asphalt, and it just didn't work. I should have just jerked it up and forgot about takeoff points.
I fly a lot of times by myself, and I have to let the motor spool up. So
yeah.
And what I usually do is I just and I keep full up elevator.
Yeah.
Until the plane starts to budge and starts to move. And as soon as it moves like a foot or 2 feet maximum, I go back to neutral, and you take off like as if it was concrete at that point.
I will work on that, but again, we're fortunate in St. Louis that we've got a big square pad, asphalt, and we have an asphalt donut. So
yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it's absolutely great. Yeah.
I just wasn't used to doing the grass takeoff, and I guess I'll have to get better at that, because I do plan on entering intermediate at the Nats, so I know that's going to be on grass. So
yeah.
Are you running that, Danny?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to be your favorite CD here, Steve. So
yeah, and I think I might have several judges around the circle, unofficial ones.
Yeah. Yes. Well, when you're up, everybody's going to grab a clipboard, Steve.
I think so. Yeah.
Everybody's going to want payback time. All right. So that's it. So.
Fair enough. Well, let me get Howard Rush. Matter of fact, Rush, I was going to the hospital, and the cross street was Rush. I meant to take a picture of it, but I was late for my doctor's appointment.
Was that up by Whittier Narrows?
No, it's in Vista, California.
Oh, you got Rush Streets out the wazoo.
Yeah, Rush. Yeah, I don't know if it's an avenue or if it's street, but it's Rush.
Yeah.
Were you in a rush, Carl?
Yeah, I was in a rush too. Yeah, because I was late for my physical therapy appointment. So anyway, so tell me about yourself, Russ. Howard, what you been up to?
I've been working on the NATS program, the program.
The tabulators?
Yeah, I haven't even been to the shop since I got back from the contest.
Well, I was thinking no good. Up to no good. What you been up to? No good.
Well,
Howard, I understand we have a full complement of judges, though.
Oh, great. How many?
I heard 13.
Oh, that's well. Mark must be recruiting him. He's good at that. Yeah, I was going to suggest a couple of guys this weekend. They judged at the Northwest Regionals and seemed to have a lot of fun. So
I'm sure we could accommodate 16 if we got them.
Great. I'll send a note to the authorities and recommend it.
Oh, by the way, Howard, I did try one of those glow plugs you sent me today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Pretty good.
What was it?
I don't know, and neither does Howard.
Neither does Howard.
Yeah,
They're
it's
from the
from
Grand
it's Phil
Estate.
Grandison's estate. Phil Grandison's estate. It's
Oh, good gracious. If it don't work, you don't know what to stay away from. If it does work, you don't know what to go buy. Doggone.
the only thing I noticed is that when I pulled off the battery, the RPM dropped down a little bit. So that's the only thing
That's
I
not
only-
usually a good sign.
no, but I flew the flight. It flew. It seemed to run pretty good. I don't know what it is, so I don't know. Like Phil said, I don't know how to avoid it or to get it one because there's no markings that I can. It's just kind of a shiny glow plug.
Yeah, well, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Very good. No problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Let me look at the chat box. I got a couple comments here from Terry Mitchell. He says, like provided. Great to see everyone. So thank you very much, Terry Mitchell. Appreciate that. And Brent Williams, yo. That's right. That's yo from the advanced winner of the Northwestern Regionals. That's right. Brent Williams in the house. And then we have Tony Dallas. He says, like given. He has a question for us. So brace yourself. Question: what features help when flying on a windy day? Speed, weight, or wing size? Is it heavier airplane better in the wind?
No,
No to heavier, right?
no, not heavy is not good.
Oh, sure.
I can think of one thing that works for me very good on windy days. I move the battery backwards a little bit, about an inch or so. I shift the CG backwards, so it helps with the turn.
Right.
Okay. I remember reading Paul Walker, and he talked about moving the lead outs a little bit forward.
Yep.
And I remember when I was flying at a contest, and it was Marshall, I think it was Marshall Palmer was assisting me. And this is probably 8 years ago, so I wasn't as experienced as I am now, but my inclination was to speed the motor up a little bit because it's windy. That's what I did when I was a kid, right? And he goes, no, Charles, slow the motor down a little bit. And so I found that has been, that wasn't something that I would have a natural inclination to do, but I find that really does help in windy days, is to, richen it up just a little bit.
Yep.
And it kind of helps eliminate the whip up, the engine getting fast when you get into a round maneuver. And
You used to add head gaskets.
as long as you're flying downwind, the plane's going to stay away from you, so you don't really need all the RPMs to get line tension because you got the wind doing that for you. Let me see here. So speed. So that, I guess that'd be under speed. So you don't want it to be going any faster.
Right.
And weight.
Weight,
Weight
bad.
bad because it just seems to just multiply the weight and the line pull. Yes, Jonathan?
I don't know whether it's imagination or not, but I have a couple of models that sort of fly a bit better in the wind, and they've got a slightly narrower thickness, wing thickness.
Yeah.
A slightly sharper leading edge, and they're usually sloping leading edge, rake back a little. And I think they hack into the wind a bit better, but it's not necessarily the bigger aircraft. Sometimes it's the smaller ones that do better.
It's the penetration. That's what I've noticed. Like when I fly in a wind with a thin airfoil, it just cuts through the wind very easily.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like thick airfoil is almost like a parachute in a wind, right? So especially if you try to go for the hourglass, you start to climb, and then it just drags it and just slows down so much to the point that you have a RC plane overhead. Or on the overhead aids, you can definitely see it there too. It gets overhead, right? And you come here, on this side, and just like it hits the brakes. And now again, you're super light on the lines and just nursing it around. If it's thin airfoil, just gonna cut right through.
Well, I think if you got the power, the thick airfoil is gonna hurt you. My Tony's 2.5 inches thick, and it'll plow through the overheads like it's not even flowing.
My Strega flew. I mean, I didn't have any problem in the wind with my Stalker 81. I had like a 13 inch prop on it, 3-blade, 8 pitch. It was this, those Stalkers don't have a high RPM, and I had total confidence flying that plane in the wind. It was no big deal. And it has a 3 1/4 inch thick wing, I think. So
how thick?
I think it's about 3 1/4. The Strega wing is really thick. I don't have another plane that size.
Yeah, Wendy used to use some pretty thick airfoils.
Yeah, so and it flew good in the wind. So I think we answered that question. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh no, I'm just gonna. You probably need to get your little airplane out with Mario, but I was going to ask Howard, is he related to Gough Whitlam, the ex-Prime Minister of Australia many years ago? He's got this sort of look of statesman-like look about him. He looks.
Yeah, he does. That
could
angle,
be
that
his brother.
side shot. Yeah, that side shot is very dignified.
Not to my knowledge, nor am I related to the Russians, the Australian combat flyer.
All right. I have another question here. This is by Keith Bozell, a friend of mine. He says, the P40 ARF kit, do I build the stabilizer offset or flat? I think he's talking about the, he must be talking about the vertical stabilizer. I think we had the same question or a similar question last show, and you just wanted just a little bit of offset. Is that right, Dennis?
No, I didn't. I didn't touch the paint chip. It's on the side of the window.
No, it's laying on the ground.
Just a touch, so you make sure that you don't have any inset.
Yeah, I've just been just decided that having just a little bit of rudder offset is a pretty good thing. Just make sure that nothing else. You have some in it so that that it's not turned in. All right. To like 1/8 of an inch or something like that on something like that. Okay, you said that was the ARF, so
yeah,
not
P40.
a lot of choices. On something like the P40, if I was building it, it's got a roughly 3/8 inch thick fin and rudder on it. I would tend to take the taper and the rudder part. I would put it all on one side, and that would be my effective offset. It would be all it would take.
Kind of like the Nobler.
Yeah. I don't like the full airfoil or the airfoil that the Nobler uses. I like having the first, like having it symmetrical back to the hinge line and then having it just tapered at the back.
Yeah.
But I've never done anything like the Nobler. It's just the Nobler is like a stick in the eye. I just hate the way that thing looks.
I have never built a stock profile Nobler. I've made it narrower and thinner, and
yep.
I just didn't like the looks of the side view.
Mm-hmm.
Good airplanes, but
oh sure. I started a Nobler 3 times, and they ended up all being turned into something else by the time they finished. So
exactly.
I never actually flew a Nobler. I flew a original design. So.
And Philip Bailey gave us a like. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate that. You're talented to give us a like. Thank you. And you know what? I know that Brendan, we did talk earlier, but tell me what you're up to, Brendan. I see you have a plane on the bench. So what are you working on?
So what I got right now is this is a trainer plane that Angstrom and I got stuck with early on. A guy had taken a combat wing design and he designed it just purely for training purposes for us. So we had the ability, well, it's a little bright. We got a screw in there.
Yeah.
Like the nylon screws on the top and bottom. So if the wing ever broke, we could get it off and work on it. We have a screw in the rear tail where we could take that off. So this was one of those things where we knew we put it in the ground multiple times. And we had about 4 or 5 wings and trainer planes like this. And that's kind of where we got our start. Unfortunately, the planes didn't fly all that great. And I think it kind of set us back for a while. But it at least got us in the air. And then the other interesting thing I did with this plane, Angstrom was really struggling with getting inverted. And so what we did was we just mounted another set of landing gear on top of the plane. And we didn't have as big a rudder as we had right now, but we put another one on top, and we just started the plane upside down.
Yeah, good idea.
And then that way it just took off upside down, and you didn't have to get inverted. You just started inverted.
Yeah, I like that.
That's how he started. But the reason I'm whipping this plane back out again is that the Brodex got the balloon bust coming up, and yeah, I was trying to outfit the plane to be able to make a run at the balloon bust. So that's why I got this plane out and going. But speaking of Brodex, something else that I've gotten into. So Angstrom did a Junkyard Wars last year, and it was our first go at it. And lesson learned, we brought an engine that week. We're not combustion engine folks. And so we brought that engine, had it run a couple of times on a bench with some folks, and then just tried to throw it up in the air. And for anybody that was there that saw us, just something got loose in the tank and clogged things up. And so it went from, running a decent speed to just being a dog. So for the first time in 4/5 years, I've been running combustion engines the last week, trying to get one up and going. I now realize all the reasons I moved away from combustion engines. I'll tell you, because that was the headache at the beginning of it all, like the 1,000 things that could make a combustion engine run wonky. But honestly, last week I've been trying to get one up running. I think I got one that's going well, and we're going to do a couple of test flights this weekend, hopefully on a couple of designs, and hopefully make a run at Junkyard Wars again and get one up. Because Angstrom, here's the thing, personally, combustion engine's not my thing. Building on the fly is still hard for me in my junior status, but he wants to do it. He's 13. He's convinced this is his thing. Okay, we're going to put a plane up and cross our fingers, and hopefully we make a decent finish this year.
Yeah, that's cool. Hope so. That'd be good. You have some stiff competition with Lynn Burrell and Naomi. I don't know if Naomi helps or not, but I know Lynn's done that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny, everything that Brendan mentioned here. You see the people flying Junkyard Wars. I think a lot of them, they take the engine off, the one that's at the bottom of the barrel that they don't care about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's going to get pounded into the ground. And that's part of the trouble with Junkyard Wars, is they're trying to run these engines that don't have a chance. And so they
I got a good LA-25 and one of the blue motors that I got out, and I was like, I think this, and again, these aren't my things. So I just got some laying around, but that one looked kind of sharp to me in decent condition. And I don't know, it seems to be running strong. And like I said, I'm going to slap it on a plane this weekend and at least give some runs at it. Just make sure that we got something that we think we can get in the air. And even if it's running hard that day or whatnot, I'd rather have tension and it, speeding around than what we had last time around, where it was running probably 6.5 second laps or something. So,
hey, Brandon.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw the new rules this year for Junkyard Wars.
Yeah, go ahead.
But if an engine really runs well, you're disqualified. Don't put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, that's it. See,
Yeah,
Brandon, that's
okay.
why they don't let us use electric in Junkyard Wars. So,
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Hey, let me ask on an aerodynamic side of things. So that vector that I just had out here, I'd gotten it from Steve Hines. It was Samantha's plane. It's a great plane. Angstrom loves it. It's our first kind of full-bodied built electric plane. But I was having some problems with, I think I had 11 by 5.5 prop on it. My timer was, as I was setting the settings, it was getting to the maximum RPMs and still giving me like a 5.2 run. 5.2 second lap speed, and we didn't have any wind when we were flying the other day, and it didn't handle too well. So the only thing I have in my on hand is I do have a 3-blade prop that I was whipping out. I was going to put it on our SV11 whenever we get to that, but I went ahead and put it on here because it's got a 11 by 7 pitch to it and stuff. So it should be able to work well with our RPM settings. And get us there. I guess this is a long way of getting around to my question here. I've never put a spinner on a plane before, and I just put one on here. What are the pros and cons of spinner versus non-spinners? Aerodynamically, what does it do to a plane, or does it do anything?
Well, they look cool, so that matters. But I think the biggest thing you may notice is that it's probably going to be more nose heavy. Depending, is it a plastic or a metal spinner?
It's a plastic one.
Okay, so it may not be too big an effect, but that weight is all the way forward as far as it can be. So even a 1/4 ounce or a 1/2 ounce matters a lot. Hey, before you go with that prop too, you might try, I'm actually running something like this now. Get a APC 12.6 electric and clip it to 11 inches. Instead of 11.5 and what that is that's kind of what you did. It's got just a little bit more pitch, and it'll let you run at a slightly lower RPM to maintain the flight speed. But just get a 12.6 and clip it to 11. So.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take that under consideration. Yeah. I was just kind of going with what was on hand, and we haven't tried one of these 3-blade props either. So I guess that's another thing for the people, that have gone that route. I heard from one set of folks like, we've never looked back and this is our thing. But I mean, I don't know if people really kind of feel that way or if that's just made up stuff. Like, I don't know what the real evidence is on any of that.
Yeah. The 3-blade props, of course, they look ultra cool too. So that's important. Sure. I've been trying to work on my nephew. I want him to print up a 5-blader for me, and he just won't do it. But I figured a 5-blade prop is going to be at least 5/3 better than a 3-blade. So
you might not want to try a printed prop.
Yeah.
But at least you won't be standing next to it when it starts.
I'll be standing 60 feet away. So
you're probably out of the woods.
Yeah.
So Brendan, to clarify my question about the lap time, was you trying to? I'm just thinking that isn't there a line length part of the solution to what you're trying to fix?
So you're saying that like we fly on 60, so you're saying if we shrink it down a little bit, it would speed it up as well. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, right. Correct.
Yeah, you know what, that would be one way to handle it. I haven't made, I fly a bunch of those Spectra lines, and I'd made up a whole bunch of 60s in the past. So like, I haven't really experimented much with length, but yeah, that could be something that would be a solution.
Well, remember, when you take it and put it on longer lines or shorter lines, the airplane's going to be going exactly the same airspeed. It'll just be coming around the circle faster or slower.
Right.
And if you're flying on 60-foot lines and you're thinking, gee, that isn't fast enough, then he has to increase the airspeed, and changing the line length won't do anything for him with that. So it'll stay exactly the same speed. It'll be going, 1/10 of a second, on the lap time and everything like that. But the airspeed will be pretty close to exactly the same. So there's not a lot of line drag difference in a foot or two in line length and all that. So it's going to be going the same airspeed. So.
I'll tell you what's nice is that the batteries we have for this thing, it still has about 65% left, or not 65, sorry, uses 65% along the way. So there's plenty of battery to, bump up the like I said, the prop size or whatnot, you know, I can use up some more juice, and that's fine. It'll get me where I'm trying to go.
I guess I'm curious, you said that you got that, does it have your own motor in it, or was that the motor that Steve and Samantha used?
That's the motor that Steve and Samantha used. And I was trying to actually look in there the other day and hold it up to the light and try to figure out what exactly that motor was. It runs on a 4S battery, and I've got a 3000 mAh battery in there, and it leaves me still with about 30-35%. And
Nice.
that's I mean, there's
Is it a silver and blue motor?
I'd have to hold it up to the light again and really take a close look in there.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Steve used to use the 2820 Aero Winds. That's a silver end caps and blue around the the belt around the motor. And,
Yeah, I don't remember what I saw in there the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, Jonathan.
Mark, I've been thinking about your beer cat. Just going back to that for a minute. It's actually quite a short model in the fuselage, isn't it, for its general sort of stance on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you land on grass, you're going to have to be very careful that it's pretty much like a bowling green, really.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem. I've been thinking about it. If you trailed a great long arrestor hook, you'd probably be okay. It might touch down before the plane does.
Mark, is the tail wheel removable?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a beautiful model.
Mm-hmm.
It's just beautiful.
Al would roll over in his grave. I was going to suggest a long tail wheel so that you could
That's it. I mean, I can
install a thing in
I
and
can
get it
shorten
on
the
the
gear and
tail
I can
wheel
lengthen the
first to get
tail
all
wheel,
the
but then it
energy
doesn't
out of
look like
it.
a
It
bear
would
cat anymore.
probably, yeah. But if you took that thing and made the thing sitting almost level, Al would not be happy even now. So.
So I have a question from. Oh, go ahead, Gordon.
I got a comment and a question for Brendan.
Yeah.
My grandson is 6'6", and his name is Brandon.
Okay.
And
cool.
The question is, what's Junkyard Wars? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so basically, it's the final night at Brodax. So it's the whole week event, and then on Friday night they have the big dinner and stuff. But right before the big dinner, they bring out some pallet wood. They've also had some chloroplast in the past, like the
election signs.
Yeah, the election signs, right. And I'm hoping they have that this year. They were a little short on supply last year. I hope it comes out again because that's what I like to use. But anyway, they bring that stuff out and they just say, hey, make a on the spot plane, out of the materials we have right here in front of you. And then people whip it together in about an hour. We all eat, and then afterwards we just see these things go up in the air and hope somebody can put on a show.
Yeah, we had one sooner that we called it something else, but we'd tell them to say go. They build the airplane, and the first one that gets airborne wins. And
that's cool.
They're won it like 3 years in a row.
Oh, yeah, Gordon. We have
variations. I guess they used to run a rat race with it. And there was total time from when you started building to when you finished X number of laps and stuff like that. Right. And at Brodac they just if you have to fly 10 laps, is it, just to qualify, and then you start doing your second flight, or even, I guess, if you have enough time in your first flight, you start trying to do things with it, like loop it or get it inverted or if you're like Lenny, you'll do a complete AMA stunt pattern, which he did with his. Was not, yeah, you wouldn't want to be the guy holding the clipboard doing it, but he did do all of the stuff that makes up a stunt pattern. All right, so. Joe Gilbert one year he tried he was going to try to fly it like a bi-slob and prop hang. He couldn't quite pull that one off. But
that's what is it? Aura? Is that was his name last year? That's what his plane kind of did. If you remember, it was nose up and it was almost completely vertical.
Yeah, that's right.
And
he did.
Yeah.
Decanian, is it?
Yeah.
Decanian?
Yeah, I've seen his name in the chat box, and it intimidates me when I see the last name. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, last year he won Junkyard War, but like it was a constant battle. Like he had it just perfect, and it just slowly was creeping around the
well, in his case, the airplane was so unstable or whatever. He was like, the whole thing. It was like the most stable thing he could do was kind of prop hang it. And then he'd take it, tip the nose down just a little bit, and it would get, and then snap it right back up again. But you get see people like Mike Lonke. He doesn't worry about the fuel feed. He fit his up with a pen bladder. All right. And he even went so far, he fitted up with a pen bladder that blew up at about 15 feet right over the crowd. So everybody got extra seasoning on their fried chicken that night, but things like that.
I have another question from our chat box, but before I get to that question, I just want to ask our audience is to please support us. Support Sparky. He's going to be doing some live streams from Brodax and the Nationals. It might be too late for Brodax, but if you was to go to Stunthangar Forum and donate there, that way you'll get the money quicker. If you donate money here, which is fine, might be fine for the Nats, he doesn't see it till the month later. But just to implore you to donate to help Sparky out with the bandwidth, that'd be greatly appreciated. Our question is from Tony Dallas. He says, so what is a good airspeed for aerobatics?
Depends
10
on,
seconds lap time.
What?
Depends on the weight of the airplane, the wing area.
Personal preference. Yeah.
What are you guys' personal preferences? I know that I tend to fly a little bit fast. I've had heavy planes, so they had to fly fast.
Yeah,
I like 5.5s.
5.3 lap times.
And Phil, you're muted, Phil. Go ahead and say call out your lap time you like.
5.25.
5.25.
What? You get into 100th of a second? Come on, man. So.
And is Howard Rush still here? Howard, what lap time do you like, Howard?
That's what my airplane likes. And it's from 5.2 to 5.4.
That's pretty common. 5.2 to 5.4. Tony Dallas. That's typically what people like. Everyone has their own personal preference.
I say whatever your plane can handle, right? I think that there's a point where you're flying so slow, they're kind of being soft on the lines on the top. And then might be too slow over there. Maybe you want to speed it up just to get it under control. But the slower you fly, the more time it gives you to do anything and really drive it and put it wherever you want.
I got corrected. I'm sorry. I just leaped to the conclusion of lap time, but he actually is asking specifically airspeed.
I think it really goes back to the lap time because humans are wired in such a way that the things that we do, if you're going much faster than around 5 seconds a lap, it becomes very hard to keep up with it. And if you're going much slower than about 5.8 or something like that, it becomes very hard for the airplane to maintain airspeed. But it usually ends up being in a low 50 mile an hour range. I don't know. Let me find my chart again, and maybe I can put that up and see what we're doing.
There's a chart.
55.
Yeah,
on
About
Stunthangar.
55 miles an hour is usually about right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah, Bill.
Hey, hi there. Hey, I thought I just show this off. I figured
Okay.
Jonathan would probably be interested. It's a, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a classic Enya 35.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Oh,
So,
I think I
yeah,
have seen one of those, but that is so beautiful.
they are really nice. I've never even run it yet.
Yeah.
I guess I just Jonathan probably run away though.
Yeah, do you have
But,
a gram scale by you by chance? Can you weigh it for me?
I do, yeah. I'll tell you.
If you start breaking that in tomorrow, you'll have it broke in about a month.
Well, it says it takes up to 2 hours on the instructions.
I
the
put almost
ARFs,
2
they-
gallons.
You know,
I
the
put
ARFs
almost
say
2
you can-
gallons through one,
the
running
ARFs
2
say
minutes
you
and letting
can
it
do
cool off
6
5.
hours.
It's 248 grams or 8.7 ounces.
7
with
Oh, that's
no-
not bad.
and
8.7
then
ounces.
that's the muffler, just kind of a standard Enya muffler.
Yeah.
What size
But
motor
it's
is
really
that?
That's a Enya 35, Gordon.
Oh,
Enya 35 classic.
okay.
Yeah, if you take that apart, you'll find an electric engine inside.
Maybe, I don't know.
In that case, you won't
But,
need them up.
I got it through that guy on eBay, Shutterman,
Yeah.
and it just I've had it for quite a while now, but it just popped up and they were available and reasonable, so I just bought one just because I always liked Enya. I never had a lot of success with it, but I think probably I just never got them run in good enough. But anyway, it's a nice looking motor anyway.
yes, it is.
It is
Yeah.
nice. I like Enya motors. They look really nice. There's a
Mhm.
one CRX that I think it's a 60,
Yeah,
I think.
that's the instructions
Yeah.
that came with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Pete Peterson used to run a 45 in his Magnum,
Ah,
and it run like a sewing machine. Very
yeah.
running motor.
I've seen some really nice ones, but they've probably got hours and hours and hours of running on them. But then they're bulletproof once you do that, I think.
Yeah, one of the best wind blanes I ever had was a. Now everybody calls it a Brodak, but it's oh gosh, now I forgot the name of it. But it's a little bitty stunner with a Enya 35 on it, and the thing just flew so well I couldn't believe it. But we were down at VSC, East Coast Golden Oldies in Georgia, Tifton, Georgia, at the airport, and I tried to fly what was it? Anyway, I tried to fly my plane, which is pretty good size, Oriental, and I was having trouble getting through the wind, and Mike Garmin come up after me and flew this little thing, and it just went through the wind like the wind wasn't there. So when it was all over, I asked Mike if I could try to fly his airplane one time. He says, sure. So he fueled it. I was going to put my fuel in it all. Mike fuels it up, gets it out there, and I go out there and start the thing, one flip, and I noticed, darn, that's an Enya. First one I've ever started. So I went out and flew it, and it flew great. So I came home, and I don't remember who gave me an Enya, just like what was on Mike's airplane, but somebody gave me one. I came home, built that little airplane, and it was one of the best wind flying airplanes I'd ever had, but I gave it to my daughter. She let her boyfriend, who was supposed to know how to fly it, and he didn't.
Yeah. I remember at the Golden State Sun Championship, it was a windy event. And I remember this Pinto flying through the wind, no problem. I was so surprised that a plane that small could be that competitive at that level. Those I think it was Expert. Was
Yeah, and he was flying it with a TV in it too.
Someone flew that Pinto there?
What's that?
At the Golden State Stunt Championship, someone was flying a Pinto. It was a really windy event.
It's the guy that designed it.
Yeah, that was
Out of here, Tryon.
Yeah. Tony.
Thank you, Tryon.
Take care, Tryon. I'm out here in just a minute, but I cannot remember his name, but he's the guy that designed the airplane.
Okay.
That's Rich.
What was that,
What?
Howard?
Dick Mathis.
That's it. Dick
Yep.
Mathis.
Yeah, I haven't seen him at the.
I have
Okay,
the
it
Pinto
wasn't
2
wasn't
downstairs.
Larry
It's
Ranger, was it?
nice.
Larry Ranger or Ranger or whatever his.
Oh, maybe
Larry Ringer.
Yeah, he's a half A guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. And he's always gotten more performance out of a half A than anybody else has. So
Yeah, one of his taglines is "Keep it small, y'all."
Yeah.
One year down there at Whittier contest, a guy had built a twin engine Pathfinder with 2 half A's on it.
Oh, Lord.
And he wanted me to fly it. I mean, I watched him fly and it flew really well. You know, I don't know what the wingspan was on it, but he had plenty of power.
Tell you what, those little half A's will surprise you.
Larry Ringer in here, so I got to remember to make a note to call Larry and see if we can.
Larry's not the guy that did it. I've talked to Larry. Larry's the one that did that plane with the wings pointed way forward. And
yeah.
He and Keith and somebody else flew and took first, second, and third in the contest. But he didn't do the Pinto. I'll know Monday night. I'll go get my
Dick
plans out.
Mathis, I'm pretty sure Dick
I
Mathis
think it
designed
is
it like
Dick.
Howard said, and he kitted it originally.
Yeah.
I think before RSM picked it up.
RSM's got it now. And I did. Somebody came out with a Pinto 2, which is just a Pinto. The fuselage is identical. The wing is a little bit thicker. And that's the one I built.
Mm.
I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm also building a stock one because I know that.
Out of here, Jonathan.
Charles, I was going to say that Messerschmitt 262, if you want to bear with me, I can have a go at trying to bring up a photo again.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We have
But
a few more minutes before I end the stream. Yeah, please do.
I'll try and make it not quite so insufferable as last time. I had a couple of mates give me crap for about the last week after that last time. Okay, I'll have a look at this, see if I can bring it up.
All right.
Hold on to your hats, folks. There we go.
Stand by for a standby. This may be a standby.
I mean, they started laughing when somebody asked me what this computer was. And I said, oh, I thought it was an Apple. It was a bloody PC. Hold on a minute.
Was that an Enya PC? Oh.
Ooh.
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 While you're figuring it out, Jonathan, I got a text, a chat from old control line pilot. That's AKA Bob Whitley. He's also a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. He says, like given, tied up tonight, getting ready to do my father's memorial service tomorrow.
Oh,
but good
sorry to hear that.
He said, passed my Transport Canada commercial pilot medical today, so I'm good for another 6 months of full-size planes. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're in good health, and my condolences to you and your family. And then he goes on to say, hoping to get to Ponoka about 90 miles from here on Sunday for a fun fly event, probably join you on Monday. And I bet you're going to come back with some more airplanes too, I bet, right, Bob?
Probably. So
yeah, he'll probably have something he just can't live without, so he'll probably do that. So Jonathan, you got the image up already that you want? You got to get it up first, and then you go down and share.
I had a rush of blood to the head about 3 days ago, and I thought, no, the gearing on the main bell horn, on the flaps was incorrect. And when I did the maths, it wasn't sort of lineal. It didn't sort of really, it needed work, and I still haven't got it quite right. So I'm messing with that at the moment, but cosmetically it's finished.
Okay. So you have the image up already on your PC?
Yeah. What do I do? Sorry.
So when you have the image up, and then you go down to the bottom of this Zoom meeting, and you see where it says share, screen share.
Share screen.
Yeah, it's share.
Oh, hang on. This is where I got lost last time.
click on share screen, and then you go back up and reselect. There's like a gallery of images will show up, and you pick the one you want to share with us. So it's like a 3-step process.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, look, I'm sorry about that. I thought you guys were looking at it.
Oh
and
no,
you
we
were
never
reading.
saw it.
Try that.
Share screen.
There we
pick
go.
The image.
It's
Now
coming
we're
up.
going.
Is that working?
Yeah, it's working. Excellent. Oh, well, look at that. That's very interesting.
Hmm.
So that's
I've
a
got
six,
some-
that's a 262.
Yeah,
Very cool. Very cool.
that's my own design.
Very cool. Man, you really definitely captured that rudder. That rudder looks perfect.
Yeah.
I tend to make them, reasonably big because, particularly with a high tail, you don't really know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah,
But,
that's pretty cool. And what engine or motor do you have on there?
Now you've got me again here. Oh, look, it's up the other end of the house. It's
Well, how
like
big
that
is the
thing.
wingspan? I mean, so it's like a 19 or 20?
No. It's a 30. Hang on, it's a 30.
OS Max.
No, look, I can't remember. This is a bit like the question about the computer the other time. I think it's an FP.
Okay.
30 FP.
So it's Max, yeah.
But it goes real well. I've got a for a 30, it puts out plenty of grunt. I've got a pipe on it, a small muffler on it, but it's like a small pipe. It's a German design, the exhaust system, and I think it actually wrings a couple more revs out of it, So it works very well.
Very nice. It's a tri-gear plane. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, nice landings and takeoffs. But I haven't pushed it yet, so I'm looking forward to getting this hip done in 2 weeks, and I'll be fighting fit in a month, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. Now the flaps,
Month or two.
so you got the nacelle. It goes all the way back. We're not really nacelle. It's like so the flaps are split. Did the flaps move both on either side of that?
The jet engine, the engine, the angle of the wing changes there. It's flat straight across the back where the main flaps are in the center. And then, of course, with the angle of the wing, the rake of the wing, they go out at an angle. So I had to sort of mess around and develop a little sliding where a little slide system where the wire that comes off the flap passes through the engine, comes out the other side, and then it goes through a slide on the inside edge of the flap, on the outside flap. You know what I mean? So that it slides on an angle, because as you go through the arc, it increases and decreases the angle there. So it all works smoothly.
Wow.
In fact, I build all my aircraft so that I'm not happy if you put them on the ground and the flaps go bleh, I'm happy.
Right.
You put them on the ground and the flaps stay straight. I'm asking questions.
It means your flaps are too heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
get
always
that.
build
Sorry,
my
what?
flaps out of mahogany for that
He's
reason.
talking about your flaps
Oh,
heavy enough to
I see.
fall, as opposed
Yeah.
to being loose.
Mine's made out of depleted uranium.
Yeah, there you go.
Very cool. Well, thank you for showing that.
It's looking
Now,
good,
while
John.
you're there, if you wanted to risk, I don't know what the hell's here next, but I was going to say, what I could do is I've got a picture of my flying chair, and it might just. Oh, hang on, that's the Argus.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's that was Manobler, yeah. Oh, that's finally how it turned out.
Well, that is cool.
Oh, that was a plan of the. Oh, hang on, I'm getting lost here.
There we go.
No, all right. Oh, and there's some joker zooming along the beach out here at West Auckland. He was famous for doing this in the Texan or the Harvard, about 1944, 43.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go.
Very neat.
Oh, I could have got the chair then, but never mind. I'll show you another time.
Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing it. Well, anyways, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate everyone coming in, tuning in. We had a very good show. And at the height of our audience, we had, I think, like 33 people watching us. We have 26 likes. Unfortunately, we don't have any chat revenue or any new members, but thank you for tuning in. And hopefully you have a chance to do some flying or work on your shop and come back Monday and tell us all about it. So until Monday, fair winds, tight lines.